Welcome to the Agency Navigators podcast. I'm Ro.
I'm Don.
I'm Cayla.
And I'm Shawna.
And we are back together again on this really different series for us. And we're really focusing in on transferable value and the 11 value drivers. This is the first actual value driver we're going to cover. Please know that if you're listening in, we do have slides up on the screen. Go to our YouTube channel. You can see them. Or just reach out to us. We love having these conversations. I am certified through the Business Enterprise Institute, Exit Planning Solutions. Don is an advanced exit planner, and Cayla and Shawna are on their way to become advanced exit planners. We are not valuation experts. We are not legal. We are not CPAs. We are here to discuss transferable value for today and the future. So please know that we're here to help, have great conversations, and hopefully transfer some of our learning. See what I did there?
Oh, boy, yes.
I'm fine. So the first of the value drivers that we want to focus on, and we think it's extremely important to focus on this first and foremost, is management team development.
Absolutely. We oftentimes see so many agencies where everything revolves around the owner.
Yeah. And that's the way it's been built. That's the way it always is. They get the biggest leads. They handle every operational issue. They know all the finances, and it goes on and on and on. And
it's a detriment. If we're thinking transferable value, it is detrimental to your transferable value.
In transferable value, maybe 10 years in the future, maybe 20 years in the future, maybe, God forbid, tomorrow. You don't know what you don't know. So let's get prepared. Let's really start working on these to be intentional in what we're doing. So we're going to start in learning your current status. Think about where your agency is today, and we're going to kick it to Shawna. She's got a good story to start us off with.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start with Don's comment about detrimental value of the owner being such a key player. Well, obviously, that's kind of part of owning a business, starting a business, all of that. When you think about it, if you're going to sell the business someday, you're not necessarily coming with it. So that's why it can be the detriment. So preparing your business to work without you, I kind of have joked, you're working yourself out of a job in a way, but in a good way, is so that you can prepare that agency to be a successful agency without you, so that you're more attractive to a buyer. Saying, okay, just because they're out of it doesn't mean that it's all going to crumble without me. I did have an agent owner that was able to take their first extended time off from their agency, and they made the comment that their executive assistant that they had in place made it awkwardly quiet. And I said it might be awkward, but it's also that's actually something that is a really good value driver for your company for the future, is that you're preparing the agency to be without you on an extended time basis, meaning that someday, if you keep working on getting all of these seats that we're looking at here in place, you've now prepared the agency fully, not just for an extended time off, but fully to run without you, is a big value driver.
And a big weight off your shoulders. That's the thing. It gives you the flexibility. Thanks, Shawna. Owners have different perspectives on their management teams, and they think by building them up and giving them all the responsibility, they'll just help with operations, or it takes me so much time to explain things, and they're not going to care as much as I do. I can do it later. In reality, it is one of the earliest steps you need to take and the most impactful. You don't develop great talent overnight. And that's the same with agency CFO. We really feel we have great talent. We have a really solid team. It takes years.
Absolutely. And that's why it's important to start building. If you don't have a management team, it's not too soon to start. The time is now.
Or if they're not high level enough, if it's not right person, right seat, all of those catchphrases are actually true. those are good conversations to have with your outside mentors, with your fractional CFOs, with other peers, because don't put it off for tomorrow. All right. Why does it matter today?
Management teams bring value today because they're going to be able, so many times, what do we see? Agency owner, how many times they say, I'm the bottleneck?
Yeah.
Without a management team, you can't do everything. So you naturally become the bottleneck. And you may think that it's about control. You're actually harming the agency's current performance if you are the bottleneck. Management team allows for faster execution, removes that bottleneck, makes others accountable. Mm-hmm. You want others to be accountable. You cannot, as an owner, be accountable for everything. You need to share that load.
That reminds me, there's a quote that's been out for a long time, dozens of years. And the quote literally says, what if they fall? And the response is, my darling, what if they fly? Let them fly. Let them give it, go. Let them.
Execution. How many times have you done about execution? Management teams execute. That's what they're built to do.
Let them fly with it.
And if they're executing, guess what you get to do as owner? You get to lead instead of do. And that's the most important role for an owner, is it should be leading instead of doing all the doing.
And then why does this matter tomorrow? So you're going to have a better operating agency today with the right people in the right management seats. Why does it matter tomorrow?
It allows for a successful transfer of the agency to, whether that's an internal perpetuation or an external perpetuation, that agency, your agency, needs to be able to run without you. Otherwise, the value is all you. You want the agency to be the source of value, not solely you.
It will be a discount. Future buyers or future lenders will discount what is available if you are the center point of your agency. All right. Okay, what do you got?
I was going to say, I can throw it into, before we get to the red flags of this, is also you want it to be soft mistakes that they make. So it takes time and learning. I don't want to say mistakes are inevitable. Like, they're going to happen at some point in time. That is part of critical thinking. That is part of learning, is saying, I've made this mistake. How do I adjust for next time? So also consider it takes time to make those mistakes and be able to figure that out for next time. So the idea is, what if we could do that when it's not a critical decision that they're making and it's within something smaller that doesn't have as big of an impact if they mess up?
I love that. You build momentum.
Yeah.
Let them, how do you fly? Well, you take your first few steps and you flap and you go. It isn't all at once and you're soaring at 30,000 feet. So let them build up to that. I love that, Kay. And what are the red flags they should be looking for in their team if they need management team development? If this is a weak value driver for them, what are those red flags?
For those that are just listening, you're not seeing it on the screen. Again, go to our YouTube channel. You can see a nice long list of this. So I will verbally go through a couple of them so that you can ask about your team. So whether you are a 2-person team or a 200-person team, some of the questions are, do you have strong employees, or do you have key employees or critical employees? Someone can be really strong in their role, have all the information in their head, yet they haven't documented that, they haven't trained on it. And have we made a plan for them in case they were to leave? It's not just the owner, it's also your strong employees. Consider, management structure. Is it a flat organization? Is there anyone that you can even identify to be within management? More often than not, we don't have someone internally. We might have to look externally for this person. So consider, do I have the right people in place? And is that something that I can actually build or train upon? And I think lastly is, do you make all the decisions? What if you're not in the seat and, unfortunately it's an unexpected absence? In Shawna's story, it was a chosen absence. It was something he planned for. Yeah. What if you can't? If you can't, can your agency sustain itself through decision-making and through your team if you weren't there?
Very true. And that is That leads into perfectly. We're going to kick it to Shawna. Those key elements. What should they be looking at? Internally, externally. And again, as Kay said, go check out our YouTube page. Shawna, where do you want to go? You had a couple you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, I think, getting those clearly defined leadership roles of who does what. Look at it right now and list out, here are the key elements of my business. Who does them all? Is it all owner, or do you have some of them delegated so that you can kind of have those clearly defined areas of, here's what are key essential roles of the business, who handles them, and what type of role maybe that equates to. And then the other one would definitely be, to Cayla's point, this team's proven ability to execute without the owner involvement. So if it isn't a chosen leave of absence and it's a necessary leave of absence, that they're kind of up and ready to go if they need to. I think is the key part of this is then doing an assessment. Can they do this without me? How often are they asking me questions to really decide if they're able to do it without the owner there?
And I'd like it, Shawna. Thank you, because I'm going to put Don on the spot right now. What is one of the biggest worries we have had as we have developed and grown agency CFO over the last 8 years?
That we were prepared for the unforeseen. And the unforeseen.
Because we travel together, we're on planes together.
Absolutely. Life is unpredictable. And as I look at it, talk to agency owners here who may be listening, it may not be essentially about you. It could be your spouse. Something happens to your spouse and you need to spend that time away, or your children. There's many reasons and many things that can happen in life that will pull you away from your leadership role within the agency. Mm-hmm. And you want to be able to take care of those things. Those are very, very important. Life is important more so than the agency. And if you have this management team in place, you'll be prepared in the event that you need to step away.
Yeah, it is. It's for good reasons. It's for not so good reasons. It happens. It is, having talented people is great, but having them developed into a management team is critical.
So often, in the business of what we do is in insurance agencies, we're all about managing and mitigating and minimizing risk. And yet we see so oftentimes within the agency itself, we allow that risk to be ever present, where all the decisions are made by the owner. And that's a risky proposition. There is absolutely a risk to you in many ways. Yeah. It's a risk to the agencies. It's the viability of your team. It's a risk.
Here's another risk. What if you've identified that person, you've trained on this person, and you've now put them into the role, but when they go to execute, they go down a different path than you've set? What happens when they don't stick to the plan and they go against what you've now set for the agency, whether it's a decision that you wouldn't have made, and culturally they end up not being a great fit long term? You need time to take them out of that seat and find the right person, because not every single management team member that you tap is going to be the one that makes it long term. You need time to be able to rotate those out.
Well, and where I thought you were going to add to that is, what if you have a plan in mind for them and you didn't tell them? And they don't know it, so they go off and they leave or do a different career, or they're less engaged because they don't know what your plans are. There's a whole, it snowballs, doesn't it?
It does.
Absolutely. Nothing good comes out.
That's where I thought she was going, was the key employee leaving. And so when you took it a different direction, I wasn't expecting that. I think that's another risk to add to the table, is that key employee, you build them up to be exactly what was fit for it, but they leave because they don't see the future growth. So,
or you haven't put the stay bonuses and some of the other aspects of exit planning, whether you do a key person life insurance or you do phantom equity. Those are all conversations we're prepared to help you think through, and then bring in the experts to help execute.
Absolutely.
Because again, we're not into valuations. We're not estate planning attorneys or deep CPAs. We are here to facilitate the conversations, to begin the process. I'm certified through the Business Enterprise Institute. We have advanced exit planners to help you start this journey. Because ultimately, we want you to grow your enterprise value and through one of the value drivers, which is a developed management team. Coming up next, so our next value driver on our next episode will be operating systems. These are basic conversations we have with our clients every day. But again, the 11 value drivers of transferable value means we're going to go and really highlight and talk about them. Truly, it starts with the humans in your agency. It starts with your management team development, and I would argue your whole team development to build that transferable value. Okay, what are your final thoughts on this?
I like that you said it's the entire team, because if you're at a point where you're not ready to build a management team, you're on that path, and it could take upwards of 5 years to find the right person and get them ready for it. So I think looking at your entire team and what's their, long-term capacity and making sure you share that up front. So going back to the more positive spin of that, you could find someone that maybe just needs 5 years of growth. What if you could be that person that develops them and sets them up for the future long-term? So
good. Shawna?
This part does hit home a lot, because I've now been able to put what I've been learning into practice and I instantly saw it when I saw an email come through and heard how well it was going, that they were able to be gone an extended time and it went so well. I immediately went to thinking he's on his way to getting a management team in place that can help grow that value of that agency for the future.
See, I knew you had it. I knew you had something. It is the human. We always laugh that I take the I'm not HR. I don't do HR laws. I'm not HR at all. I am all about organizational development, which is why for many of our agency partners, I have mentored people within the agency, future leaders, and I've seen that direct impact as they grow and grow. And the team knows one of my favorite things is when we get to promote one of them and I can be a part of it. And that it never occurred to me then how much that contributed to the transferable value and the stability and the future of our agency partners. That's why I'm so passionate about this.
So often we hear from owners, we were a very flat organization. And I'm going to ask you today is think about your structure. There's a potential maybe you're too flat. So if you don't have a management team, your organization is likely too flat.
Well, on that bombshell, there you go. And as always, please follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Again, we did have a lot of content on the screen. Go to our YouTube channel or just reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We are here to help and we are grateful.
Go team. Go build your management team.
All right. Be well, guys.
Take care.